Good afternoon, everybody. Doing a special edition lunch break version of Straight Jabs. My guest today is going to be the Road Warrior, boxing legend Glen Johnson. So excited to have him on to be able to talk to him about his career and things he has going on now. What's going on? What's going on? So if you don't know who he is, you're gonna get to know him. So, how you doing? Good afternoon to you. Shout out to the Pope of Pugilism, aka George Hansen, for putting me in touch with Glenn. Also a fellow Jamaican. So we'll just give him a minute to get on. There he is. All right, so I'm gonna add you in. Hello, sir.
What's up, boss? How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. Good to see you. I'm glad you joined. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you having me on.
No problem.
Trying to turn this down. I'm
Okay,
trying.
no problem.
I'm trying to keep up with the trade.
I hear you.
Keep up with whatever Miami Heat is about to do.
Oh, listen. I'll take some of that heat. I'm in New Jersey, so it's a little chilly. You're a little chilly today.
Yeah. That New Jersey weather, man. Anything in New York, New Jersey, Boston, Connecticut, Canada. I can't handle that kind of cold weather, brother.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. My wife complains every day about getting to a warmer place. So
Yeah.
we shall see in the near future where that takes us.
I can't handle that cold ass weather, man.
Yeah. So yeah, I appreciate your time, and I just want to give a shout out to George Hansen. He put me in touch with you, because I did a video with him a couple of weeks ago, and he said I should talk with you,
Yeah,
to see what you got going on.
right. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm here just working with some of my fighters. I'm a trainer slash promoter. Um, so, I'm training a couple of guys, and while I'm training them, I'm also promoting them as well because
Hmm.
there's quite a few promoters around here, but they're dealing with their own guys, and they're not really inclined to help us out. So we decided to start doing our own thing.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I think it's always better when you take matters in your own hands, and
Yeah,
especially with the boxing, world is very, very wild, wild west, right? It's really not a standard, so you can kind of create and do what you want to some extent, right?
yeah. I mean, it's a wild, wild west, and it's a tight knit community. A lot of times, people kind of do stuff for each other. If you one of the guys who in that clique who have something to offer, basically, they all take care of each other. But if you're a guy who just coming in, you're not bringing what they're looking for,
Hmm.
then I try to keep you on the outside a little bit. And like all of my fighters, um, they are like beginner guys. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
They're established fighter that I'm training. All of the guys, I start them off boxing. Most of them, some were boxing before, but boxing incorrectly and stuff. So I have to fix what they're doing and kind of get them back on the right track.
Hmm.
So they're not bringing any cliche to the ring. I mean, the only known thing they're bringing to the ring is me as a trainer.
Hmm.
Nobody really know me as a trainer. They know me as a fighter.
Right.
So whole avenue that I'm in is all brand new. So
Yeah.
um, we just gotta work it out. The kinks are a little rough right now, but I have a tremendous work ethics, and I'm just leaning on that and just keep pushing through.
Right. Right. What do you say is the hardest part about being a promoter versus being a fighter? 'Cause obviously, like you said, people know you for being a fighter, but not being a promoter and a trainer as well. What do you find to be the most challenging, right
Well,
now?
I mean, as a promoter, uh, just you gotta have a lot more time uh, as a promoter to get sponsors and talk with the company. You have to worry about getting their particular days.
Oh, Glenn, you're breaking up a little bit on my side.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's still a little choppy, but I think.
yeah. I'm getting a background.
Oh, okay, there you go. That's better.
Yeah. So, but like I said, you just gotta deal with a lot of politics as a promoter. For me as a fighter, I never deal with any of that. But yeah, my promoter deal with whatever they needed to do. All I had to do was just stay focused on, um, you know, stage, be ready to fight, bring them home, um, and we go wherever those fights were. They, they that I was always prepared and ready to fight. So that's how I went about my business. This promotional, the training thing, because I know boxing already, it's not that difficult to train guy. I mean, I realize I love training. I'm not what I thought I would. Because in your mind, I'm able to teach it and see it manifest. It's just a satisfaction of going. I would find those. So it's a gratifying thing about that.
Mm, okay. So take me back to the beginning of when you got into boxing. Because I think that's probably where a lot of people may not realize. These are the things that make you the great, the legend that we know, and the guy who had great, fights and guys on your resumes. So take me back to the beginning when you first walked into the gym for the first time. How was that?
Well, the first time I walked into the gym, I mean, I didn't know what it was. I heard it's going to be a gym. I didn't know it was a boxing gym. It was in my community. I heard, I see them have construction going on in the building that for long and not being used. So I I heard somebody said, "Oh, that's going to be a gym." They heard that it's going to be a gym, and at that time, I started to feel a little fat. Like, yo, I should be working out. I'm putting on weight. So I walked in there to ask them some questions about the gym, and they said, "It's going to be a boxing gym. It's a PAL, and if you live in the community, it's free." So free fit into my budget. So I was like, "When you guys be open?" They say we're going to be open like a month. I said, all right, I'll be back in a month. And as soon as they were open, I went in and just started years old already. A lot of these people were kids. I saw a lot of kids and stuff was in the gym learning. I was like one of the oldest guys there. But you know, I was learning. I was there every day. I didn't have boxing on my mind. I wasn't planning to be a fighter or anything. All I was thinking about is just to lose some weight. I started to grow a belly. I didn't want to have a belly, so I wanted to work out and stuff. And I was there for like a few months. I was there every day, and the trainer took a liking to me because he saw that I was there every day and I was training all the time. I was committed to coming and training. So he said, "Hey, you wanna do some amateur boxing?" I said, you know, yo, if you believe that I could, I would. And he said, yeah. And then he started spending some more time and training me a little bit more because he's preparing me for a fight because he told me that some amateur fight was coming up and wanted to get ready for that. So I'm like, okay. So that was the first time that it entered to my mind that actually box. I'm actually going to be a boxer now. I'm going to get inside the ring and compete against somebody else. And then, man, the first time I spar, Jesus Christ, I thought I was going to, I was like, this is impossible. There is no way in the world anybody can do this. This is, and then while my brain was telling me that, my eyes, because I was outside the ring, got out the ring and lay on the floor because I was trying to cover. I was trying to revive myself. And while my brain is telling me how impossible this is, my eyes were showing me people in the ring doing it. So then I become mad at myself. I was like, okay, don't be a pussy. Do it. So I had to recalculate my whole brain. Everything had to be set up. I had to have a different mindset. You know what I mean? Shift all my thoughts that I ever had before. I've never done anything athletic before. This was my first time at 20 years old doing something like this in a competition like this. So I definitely put a different mindset together. I start training much harder and everything. And once I start going in there more and more, I become more comfortable. And then once I became more comfortable and more relaxed with a different mindset, I started to get a feel for it. And then I fought, and I won my fight. And once I did that, once I won, I was hooked. I got my first compliment, and I was hooked, man. And that was it. I was hooked. I was there every day trying to get better every day. I couldn't back up. No back. I was hooked.
Yeah. That's what's up. Sounds like a great story. I mean, it sounds like a very similar story to a lot of people, even myself included. I remember that, training was one thing, but then it was like when I got that first spar in, then I realized, oh, okay, this is different now. I gotta, like you said, you gotta reprogram your mind to like, okay, I felt like I was fighting two other people. I was fighting myself, and then it was the guy who was in there with me. I need to remove the other guy. I got to remove myself, and I need to just fight one person.
It's a whole different. No matter how much you think you're in shape, bro. Once you get in that ring with somebody else throwing punches at you, you see where you're at. Mentally, physically. It's a whole different than punching the bag or doing anything else. Getting in there and sparring or getting in there in front of another person who is actually trying to hurt you is a whole different thing.
Definitely. I wanted to mention one of my guys. He he's also a Jamaican that I train with him. He's my co-trainer in my program. He just gave you a shout out, you know, living legend Glen Johnson. So he's also Jamaican. So
Oh,
McCoy Zilla Clark. So
that,
he's a pro boxer also.
yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
tell him my shout out as well, man.
definitely. Yeah, he's watching. He's watching. So want to make sure he mentioned that. So.
Awesome.
um, so you had a lot of success in your career, but you also had some controversial losses, and I watched a lot of those, so I know that they were controversial for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but I'd say through all of that, your name was really true to who you were, the road warrior, because no matter what, you fought. You know, when you look at your resume, you fought a lot of top fighters in the day, probably more so than some of the other guys you fought had fought the other guys,
Oh,
right?
yeah. And I felt like I fought all of the guys that was around
Hmm.
at my time in my era. All of the guys that's around my weight class. I started
Hmm.
up weight, and then I moved up to super middleweight, and then I went up to light heavyweight. And I
Hmm.
even up at cruiserweight. My one fight I went to uh, for a cruiserweight fight. So I think I fought the best guy at middleweight was Bernard Hopkins.
Hmm.
Then I moved up to super. I went to Germany for guy. He was the IBF world champion.
Hmm.
I felt like I beat him. Everybody, most people saw that fight, thought that I beat him and everything. And they gave him the decision over there in Germany. And
Hmm.
then I moved up to the light fought all of the guys them that was around at that time. The only guy that I didn't fight, I think is James Stoney. He was
Hmm.
on that weight class just before he moved up to the heavyweight division. He ate himself out of the division.
Yeah, he ate himself out. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's about the only guy that I didn't fight, and also Joe Kawasaki was in England. He's another guy. We had 3 dates to fight, and he he pulled out of all 3 of them.
Mhm.
But
Probably for good reason.
yeah, but I mean, I fought everybody else that was around me, right? So Tony Tava, Chad Dawson.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another guy that was in Canada. So John Pascal. I didn't fight John Pascal.
Pascal. Yeah. Yeah.
I tried to fight him a few times, but he but yeah, those are pretty much the guys.
Yeah. Who would you say was the toughest fight you had out of all of them?
Well, I would say the toughest fight is Bernard Hopkins, obviously, because he was the first mainstream guy that I fought, and I just felt like he was reading my mind in that moment.
Mhm.
But it's just the fact that I mean, in at that time when I fought him, I thought he was reading my mind, or I felt like he was reading mine. But after I get experience in boxing and know more than I know then, I just know that I was telegraphing my punches. That's why he was able to respond the way he
Mhm.
responded, because I was telegraphing my punches. I was showing what I was about to do, so he was
Mhm.
able to have good reaction to what I was doing. But in the moment when the fight was happening, like this freaking guy,
Like he anticipated everything, right?
he just he just capitalizing on everything that I'm trying to do. But yeah, it was
Mhm.
yeah, that was a tough fight. But I think everybody else that I fought, from the experience from Bernard Hopkins that I got from Bernard Hopkins, and then I went and I did some sparring. I was a sparring partner for a few guys, and I got some experience there. And so,
Mhm.
and then once I start fighting other major guys, I was better prepared to
Yeah.
fight than I was when I fought Bernard. And
Yeah.
then
Because I think that was early in your career too. So that was kind of like you said, your first mainstream fight. Because I remember
oh yeah.
watching it, looking at you guys like, man, you guys were super young. You know,
Yeah,
it was like 95, right?
I started back when I was 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, those were my learning process. I was learning on the job, basically. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
talking about most guys start boxing at 8 or 10 years old. They got 10 years in by the time they're 20 years old. For me, I'm just a beginner. So there was a lot of learning for me to do. So Brother Hopkins taught me a lot of stuff I needed to learn in that fight.
Mm-hmm.
So then once I move on from that fight, I was pivoted. Yeah.
So, in terms of the sport of boxing today, what do you think? What do you think of the sport overall? Who are some of your favorite fighters, and what do you want to see for the future of boxing?
Well, I mean, the sport of boxing is good. I mean, I think the sport of boxing is still in good hands. I mean, my only hiccup with it is I just wish a lot of the premier fighters would fight more in their prime, fight each other more in their prime, and just create better fights. I get it though. I understand what they're doing. They're making their career and they're getting the most out of their career and they're making the most money. So it's difficult to go against that. I mean, in any business plan, the formula is to make money at the end of the day. So I get what they're doing. It's just that fans is not getting the best of the product.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, so that's the only drawback. But I mean, as far as who are some of my favorite fighters, I mean, I like Earl Spence. Earl Spence is my favorite fighter right now. I like Crawford, my second favorite fighter. And I also like Teofimo. Um, and I like man, what's his name? He just fought. Funny kid, Mexican kid.
Oh, Canelo.
Canelo, right. I like Canelo. These are guys that I think got proper technique about the, the, the right fight. The fundamentals are in the
Mm-hmm.
great performances.
Right, right. Do
Yeah.
you think that Spence can beat Crawford, or vice versa? Who do you think wins that fight?
Well, that's a good fight. That's a fight that I actually waiting to see, and I'm hoping those two guys don't wait till they start to fall off before they fight each other.
Yeah,
Either them or their promoters or whoever is the holdup. I just wish they work that out and let's get fighting. Uh,
mm-hmm.
but yeah, who I think would win? Wow, that's a tough one. I wanna lean a little bit towards Spence. I'm still waiting to see how well is he gonna perform. I know before his accident, that's who I was leaning towards.
Mm-hmm.
But after his accident, now I don't really know. I need to see him against a quality opponent to see how he perform before I can actually really say 100% how I feel about that fight. I know Crawford. I think is the truth. Is the real deal. I think Earl Spence before the accident was also the real deal. I would give Earl Spence a small edge. But anybody could win that fight, man. Either one of those guys. That's the reason why. That's what makes it so intriguing. I think it's why we all want that
Right,
because
right.
much everybody know that it's like a easy fight. So yeah, that fight should happen. Let's hope that works.
Yep, I agree. I hope it does happen. At this point, I really don't see that it is. I mean, the way both guys are talking, they're on opposite ends of everything, and that even there's other guys coming up, like Virgil Ortiz fought over the weekend, and he looks really good. He's probably a little bit too green right now for them, but
Yeah.
showing that he will be probably in the mix at some point. But I feel like if I'm Crawford or Spence and and we're not fighting each other, I definitely need to fight somebody like, Virgil Ortiz or other guys in the division to further cement my claim. And I think that's the problem because it doesn't seem like that's not even happening. So we'll see what the future holds.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, man. These guys gotta take the politics out of it and let's get good fights. I mean, the money is good. I think everybody's making good money now. I mean, so I just think they should push that crap to the side and let's fight.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
Yeah.
So what's your thought on the YouTube boxing community right now with the Jake Pauls and Logan Paul and and then on top of that you have, the Tyson because I think Tyson and Holyfield are tentatively confirmed for one of those fights. So what's your
Yeah.
thought on like the 50 plus and the YouTube boxer community thing?
Well, I mean, I think if everyone is making an honest living, you have to support them and applaud them. I mean, they find a way to become popular and turn that popularity into cash. How can you knock that? You know what I mean? You gotta give them their props. I do understand some people have some drawback that they're not seasoned boxers or whatever the case may be, but you can't begrudge a man for making money from the point he start making money. I
Right,
don't unless if he's making his money legitimately, you don't have to worry about him sticking a gun in the back of your head and trying to take your money. So if I don't have to worry about that, then I think I applaud him for doing what he's doing and leaving me alone. So I don't have any problem with them. Um, as far as the 50 plus guys, I mean, I believe that's just a good thing. And you got a person who athletic, a good fighter for many years, became popular. They built their name, and now they're 50 plus or so forth, but they still feel good about themselves. They feel like they can go and compete against each other. They're not competing against somebody who is 20 something years old or 30 years old that's going to beat them up. They're saying who's the best 50-year-old still about. You know what I mean? I think that's a good thing. I don't have any problem with that. If they want to throw me in the bunch, all they have to do is give me a call.
that was
They,
going to be my next question.
they know Glen Johnson trainer. You know what I mean? Glen Johnson boxer. They can hit me up. I'm ready for that. I'm all.
All right. You heard it here, folks. Glenn Johnson's throwing his hat in. So if anybody out there want a little something, come get it.
If they want a little something, something, I want to find out who's the best 50 plus year old that's out there. I take on anybody 40 or older.
All right. All right. Well, you answered my next question, so there's no need to go there. That was going to be what I said. Are you in? Are you in? Are you down for that? So the answer is yes. So
Yeah.
sounds good. Cool. All right. So I got this thing I call the punch out. So it's basically I give you two options and you choose one. And you could explain or you could not explain, up to you. Just two options, I just throw random things out there and you just give me, which answer you would pick and then why you pick it. It's not even a question, it's more just two options. So it's just something fun, I like to do with people sometimes.
All right.
All right.
Go
All
ahead.
right. So here we go. So I got Tyson Holyfield.
Who I think would win that fight?
Yeah.
Tyson or Holyfield? I would have to go with Tyson.
Mhm.
Uh, I think Tyson would win that. I mean, even the Wright Jones fight, Tyson looked pretty good in that fight. Wright Jones didn't look good, but Tyson looked good. He looked like he was holding back some. So, uh,
Mhm.
and I seen Holyfield. I don't know. I haven't seen him in the gym. I don't know what he's doing or how he's performing or anything.
Mhm.
But yeah, I would go with Tyson. I've seen him lately. I've seen him. He's the last person that I saw in the ring. I don't
Mhm.
really feel in the ring for almost a decade now, so I don't know what he's doing or what he have left. So
Yeah.
I have to go with Tyson.
I agree. Yeah, I think he looked really sharp in that fight. Like you said, I think he was holding back. He was having fun. He wasn't really trying to hurt him. He was just trying to put on a show, which I think is good. That was the point of it.
Exactly, and then they say it's a draw, but because it was an exhibition, but we all know who's the winner in that fight.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I told people because people were arguing with me. They were like, Did you see that fight? How could that be a draw?" I'm like, listen, guys, it wasn't even real judges. The
Yeah.
people who were judging weren't even judges. It wasn't meant. It's not a professional fight. It was an exhibition.
It's an
You know,
exhibition, and they didn't want to put a taint on anybody's name, so they just call it a draw, which is the thing that always stand out when they don't want to say who the real winner is. They always just call it a
yeah,
draw. I've been through some of those myself.
yeah, yeah. They might have been better off just not having any
Any
score. Yeah.
announcement, yeah, any announcement say who was the winner. Just had the fight
Mhm.
and then just talk whatever else they wanted to say afterward, do in the interviews and stuff and all of that, and just leave it alone. And
Right, right.
that people already know who won the fight.
Yeah, like sparring almost. Just there's
Yeah,
no, you don't raise anybody hand at the end. You just walk off and you
it,
take your lessons. And that's it.
yes, it, and everybody in the gym knows who kick whose ass.
Right. Exactly, exactly. Because they're gonna talk about it the day after.
Right.
All right. So I got Fury Joshua.
um. I think I like Joshua. I like Joshua, but I just think Fury will win the fight because I think Fury Joshua is just is he's a 3 round, 4 round guy. He get too tired too easily. I think maybe have too much muscle, or maybe he's not training properly. I don't know what his gig is, but every time I watch him after 3 rounds, he's just not the same guy. And I just think Fury, he got a lot of skills, not a lot of punching power, but a lot of skills, and he was able to hang around past 3, 4 rounds,
Yeah,
and then that's where Joshua would get in trouble.
yeah, I agree. I think Fury he's a natural boxer. He's that's what he does. He's from an early age. He just knows how to box. He knows how to, like you said, stick around, make it hard. You know, you know, do things to just make sure he's in the fight no matter what. But
Right,
punch. Yeah, I feel like to some extent, I don't think he ever concentrates on punching hard either. For a guy that big, if he stood in this pocket just long enough, he probably could hurt somebody, but he doesn't fight that way. So
right, right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
But
Shout out to Boxing Wave for joining.
yeah, hopefully he's he I saw when he fight against Wilder in that last fight, I thought Fury was sitting down on his punches a little bit more. So if he's still working with that same trainer who he worked with the Wilder, I think he might in this fight he should come out a little bit better than he was with the Wilder fight because they have a lot of time now to train and get good understanding of what that new trainer was teaching him. So
Hmm.
hopefully, we would see a little more punching out of him, and then that would make him a more exciting fighter to watch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because then now it's more of a threat. Something
Right.
that people can look for. Yeah.
He have the boxing skill, and then he would have some punching power, and
Yeah.
then don't matter how entertaining a heavyweight is, people want to see knockouts. That's the reason why we like the big boys.
Hmm. Yeah.
We
Exactly.
we have enough entertainment from the little boys with all of the fancy move and the running around and all that stuff. The one big boys they want to see knockout. That's what the little boys can't do.
Yep. Yep. That's the X factor. You're just waiting for somebody to get touched the wrong way, and then somebody falls over.
That's why Mike Tyson was so popular. Mike Tyson wasn't the greatest technician. He wasn't doing all of those fancy moves or anything. But you put Mike Tyson over here and anybody else elsewhere, everybody moving over to see Mike Tyson because at the end of the day,
Hmm.
he did knock out.
Knockout. Yeah.
Or some people might complain the knockout come too quick,
Oh
but
yeah.
it not happen.
Yeah, don't drink too much water. You go
Okay,
to the bathroom, you miss it. I remember those times.
I
I was
know,
young. I was young, but I remember
sir.
my dad would not order no pay-per-views after that. He was, nah, I'm finished with this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The thing
All
went
right.
quickly, man.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I got long distance running or sprinting.
Long distance running or sprinting? Well, my favorite race is the 100. So the long race, I'm not with it. So I'm gonna
Hmm.
go with with the sprinting. That's my favorite race, 100 meter.
Yeah, yeah, yep. Same here. I'm a sprinter. Always like to sprint. The long distance running, I'm a right now I'm way too heavy, 250. But even when I was competing or training, I was like 210, 215.
Yeah,
Still not good for my back. So long distance after a while, all that pressure from the constant pounding. I was like, nah, let me just get my sprints in and my run the bleachers, jump rope.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but some trainers will preach, you have to do long distance running, but I think it depends on the body type. If you're a bigger person, you probably do more damage than you would if you were a smaller person because gravity's taken into account.
Well, yeah, and it also you have a lot to do with the technique of how you run too. Because sometimes people they're running away where they put so much pressure, they the whole weight, all of their weight, they run with all of their weight, where they just dropping the weight down onto the ground, and that
Hmm.
hurts your knee, your back, and your ankles and stuff. But you have to know how to run gracefully,
Yeah.
where all of your body is kind of connected and help all of your everything helping the next thing.
Hmm.
And so you're able to run a little more gracefully. But yeah, that yeah, I'm about the sprinting, man. Let's get quickly.
Cool. All right, so now I got oxtails or curry chicken.
Oh, oxtails,
Hmm. All
oxtails,
day long. No debate, huh?
oxtails all day long. I even go curry oxtail at times.
I don't even know that exists.
That's new. Yeah, lock onto that.
I'm gonna go check that out then.
Check that out.
Curry oxtail, wow. Because I was gonna say both, because I'm a fat boy right now, but
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. I mean, I like curry chicken, but I'm not a big. I'm not big. My chicken, I like fried chicken. What I mean?
Mhm.
Bacon fried chicken. I like that. I like the fried chicken more than anything else. I'm a fried chicken guy if I'm gonna go chicken. But yeah, give me that oxtail.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I got push-ups or sit-ups.
Well, I would have to do with the sit-ups because, like
Mhm.
I said when I first this conversation, I said I never really like. The reason why I went into the gym is because I didn't want to have a belly.
Mhm.
So I want to do sit-ups to try to keep this belly down.
Yeah, yeah. Gotcha. Make perfect sense. All right. So I got pizza or burgers.
Pizza or burger? Not a huge fan of either, but I probably go with pizza.
Okay, okay. Any toppings on your pizza, or you just go plain cheese if you do?
Meat lover, bro. So you know what I mean. I'm just give me all the meat, load it up.
Gotcha, gotcha. All right, so I got four. So this is a curveball. I got four now. One,
Okay.
you're going to get picked one.
All right.
Jab, cross, hook, uppercut.
Jab cross is what the right hand.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah.
Oh
If
well,
you're a stop orthodox.
hand. That's yeah. I'm gonna always go with the right hand.
Hmm.
Right hand.
Yeah,
That's
top.
right, Jones. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the right hand.
Gotcha, gotcha. All right, all right. White rice or brown rice?
White rice or brown rice? Well, when I was fighting, it was brown rice. Right now, it don't matter.
Retired life. Until somebody called you for that 50 plus fight, you heard it
Ah,
here, guys. Come get it.
nice.
All right, I got two more. Two more.
All right, go.
All right, pound for pound, a pound for pound fight. Two guys not in the same weight class. If they were the same weight and they fought each other, Floyd Mayweather, Muhammad Ali.
Oh, that's a good one because they both do a lot of the same things.
Hmm.
Both very defensively skilled. I, that's a good one. I don't know. I probably will go with Floyd.
Floyd, yeah.
Yeah, I probably will go with Floyd because Ali do a lot of backhand slap with his jab, where he kind of just flip it. He's flipping it like a back. So I think if they were the same size, um, Floyd have a sharp jab and he's very good defensively. So I probably go with Floyd. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it
yeah.
makes sense. Yeah. I think Ali didn't do he was gifted as a heavyweight because he could
Heavyweight,
move better.
right? Yeah, he was gifted as a heavyweight, and in that time, heavyweight they never seen what Ali was doing. You know, that was different. You know,
Yeah.
he was just like a boxer, just moving more like he was moving like a lightweight or a welterweight or something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know, that's what Floyd do anyway. Cause Floyd is not he's not a heavyweight, so he moved like a welterweight and what is that?
Hmm.
Well, 130, 130 is what?
Lightweight. Yeah.
Like,
It was a lightweight. Yeah.
yeah, so he moved like that naturally. So, you know, a big man, a little man gonna always do those moves better than a big man. Even though the big man will do it well for his size, the little man will do it better because it's just naturally what they do.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think Floyd is defensively more responsible too. Like,
Yeah,
he doesn't leave opportunities. Ali kind of took more risk
he
with
did.
his defense, because he was playing around with guys a lot of times.
Because those guys were just so slow and awkward.
Yeah.
A lot of
Right.
it. Yeah, but he get caught at times too because of him playing around. So
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. No, I would go with Floyd. I just think Floyd do it better because he's again science take apart,
Yeah.
play apart. Yeah.
Agreed. All right, I got the last one. Same type of question. Pound for pound, even though they're closer in weight, but pound for pound, if they were the same weight class and they fought, Canelo versus Oscar De La Hoya.
I'm going to go with Canelo.
Mhm.
I'm going to go with Canelo. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I
Cool.
like I like De La Hoya, but I'm going to go with Canelo there.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he's crisper. More pop on the punches.
Stronger. He's just more forceful.
Hmm.
Uh, he's defensively sound, um, and he's comfortable with what he's doing. He just don't see anybody as a threat.
Hmm.
You know, I've seen him. You know, he fought Triple G, and he was on the ropes and making monkey face at Triple G. Hit him, and he was just, he was gaming him, and I know that's when I realized how comfortable he is. I tell people all the time, if I was fighting and somebody was making games, I would just take my gloves off. I would retire. Because it's okay to make the game, but you're supposed to pay a price. You can't make the game and then don't pay a price. If you can do that and stand in front of me and make games at me and still don't pay a price and get out of there and plus whooping my ass behind that, yeah, I
Yeah.
would take my gloves off and just retire.
Like there's nothing left for me. This is only going one way right now.
It's either
Bad
I'm
for me.
it's either I'm old or washed up or I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But something that's right.
Yeah. And I think the second fight, he proved that the first fight, he probably just didn't fight the right way. Because he fought the second fight. I think that was, just masterful because he showed that, listen, I got better defense than last time. I
Oh
can
yeah,
hit you better than last time. And
exactly.
he
Last
clearly ran away with it.
the first time he boxed him and teach him a lesson, and they say, "Oh, he ran, he was a coward." And the next time he bullied him, he walked him down and beat that ass, and say,
Yeah.
"Okay,
Yeah.
I moved a lot, I moved too much, I did this, I did that. Okay, I'm gonna do it the opposite way." And that's
Right.
exactly what he did. So yeah, no. Canelo is the boss. I'm riding with Canelo.
Yeah. Cool. Cool.
Yeah,
All right. So last few questions, and then I'll let you go. I know you got to be a busy man, busy day coming ahead of you.
yeah.
Um, what does your meals look like during your fight career? So when you were in a camp, getting ready for a fight, what was your eating regimen and your training regimen like? What did you do that was kind of like you had to do during those time frames?
Well, I mean, I never really have too much of a eating regimen. For me, I just ate all the stuff that I would eat. I just eat less of it. I mean, I eat my curry goat and my oxtail and jerk pork and jerk chicken. I just cut everything in half. I
Mm.
was rice and peas and stuff like that. Now, once I got older, I got nutritionist, and then that's when she put me on a strict eating regimen.
Mhm.
But for most of my career, I just kind of ate whatever I wanted to eat. But once I got on when I got into the Super Six is when I got on my eating regimen because I needed to lose weight to get down for the Super Six. So I got a nutritionist and she gave me, or that's when I was eating the brown rice and, fish and chicken breast. That's awful. That's not my chicken breast.
Dry, yeah,
It's
not
awful.
really the best, yeah.
It's awful. But yeah, I was eating chicken breast and fish and vegetables and salad and all this stuff and making some all kind of protein shake and stuff that she would give me a list of stuff that I need to. Some of them I forgot now, but yeah, yeah. That's when I was on a strict regiment. And what was the other thing?
Oh, and the training, like
My
any particular training.
training, I never really do a lot of um, extra stuff like I see a lot of the boxers now they like to do. For me, I would just I run a lot, so I run 5 miles every day, and I always run my 5 miles a little different. Sometimes I run 5 miles in sprint, in spurts where I would go fast for say a mile, not a mile, but like 100 meters.
Hmm.
Go slow for 100 meters and pick it up for another 100 meters, and I'll just keep on alternate doing that for 5 miles. Um,
Hmm.
and then you have the other time when I would just run solid, 7 minute mile where I just get into my pace and just keep my pace for 5 miles. Um, um, and then I have days when I would just do sprints where I would just go back and forth where I would do a sprint in front of the gym where I wouldn't run in the distance, then I would just do sprints. Um, and then other outside of that is just the regular stuff in the gym that hitting the bags and the pads and sparring and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
that's pretty much it. I never really do a lot of extra stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
now people coming in with strength and conditioning coaches and stuff, and then doing a lot of different stuff. I never really do too much of that stuff until again when I got
Hmm.
into Super Six, I started to have condition
Yeah.
coach and nutritionist and all of those stuff. Because one, I was older and then I needed to lose like 15 pounds, 15 pounds of muscle because, I was a light heavyweight uh,
Hmm.
for a long time. And then I need to go back down to 68. So there were some muscles that I had to lose to go back down there. So if it was fat, I would be able to do that on my own. But losing the muscle, it was something different.
Yeah, yeah. It's harder to break down. Plus, there's water involved and all that too. So it can get
Exactly.
tough. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, that was my thing, man. Just work hard and be committed. That's what I keep telling these guys.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Cool.
embrace the work, embrace the challenge, be comfortable in it. You can't act like it's don't act like it's work. Act like it's part of your life.
Right. Right. Exactly. Lifestyle. Yeah.
Lifestyle, exactly.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. I appreciate your time. I want to let you go. You got things to do.
Well,
And
thank
so hopefully I'll get you back on again one day, maybe talk about one of your events that you put on, as a promoter and then, go into depth on that. That'd be good.
definitely we'll work that out. That's not a problem. Thank you
All
for
right.
appreciate you put me on your platform to talk to the people.
No problem.
Respect.
I appreciate you.
I'll talk to you another time.
All right. You be good.
Sure.
All right.